Hey everyone. Can you hear me? Nick and MJ?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Cool. Let's get started. Thanks for joining us for the SWCODA's online marketing series. My name is Hannah Birdsong, and I'm one of the members of the La Plata County Small Business Task Force. And we are here to bring you this video series. So for those that don't know, the La Plata County Task Force is a group of leaders from our area that have partnered together during the current health crisis to help businesses react, respond, and recover. So we designed these online courses to be short vignettes to focus around tasks and ideas that you can do daily during the COVID stay-at-home order to sharpen your brand's marketing skills and to optimize your online presence. This is, I think, the third video we've done. You can tune in every Monday through Friday, 9 to 10 for free classes. They're all taught by local professionals in the community. So a huge thank you to everyone that has donated their time and knowledge to get this series off the ground. A couple housekeeping things before we get started. We will be answering all questions after the presentation, so feel free to type your questions in the Q&A option on your toolbar below. We'll do our best to address all questions. If we don't answer yours, we'll contact you directly after the webinar. You can also rewatch this webinar on our SWCODA's YouTube channel. So we'll be sending out a link for that as well. So that being said, I'd like to introduce our instructor for the day, Nick Kogos. Nick works at Visit Durango and he is their digital marketing guru. So he is going to be a great instructor. So excited for today's class. And he will be covering how to set up your Google My Business account and how to keep that updated. So with that being said, let's get started.
All right, thanks, Hannah. Yeah, and give me a second to share my screen here. All right, I think we're in. Hannah, are we good? How's it look? Everything look okay?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks for joining me, everyone today. Like Hannah said, my name is Nick Kogos. I'm the marketing manager at Visit Durango, and today's marketing class is we're going to be talking about basically the cornerstone of your business's presence online, which is called Google My Business. And with everyone kind of sitting around on the couch watching reruns of The Office, it's a great time to start a profile if you haven't started one already, or to improve on one if you have one already. So I'm going to be covering both of those things today, as well as getting into kind of like what you can do with COVID and update your profile with some COVID language. So, and with that, I just want to give a quick introduction beyond what Hannah said. So, and just in case, I have my notes on this screen, so I'm going to be like looking over here back and forth. So just so it's not weird that I'm just randomly staring into space. I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm recently moved here from Flagstaff. I'm currently a Google partner. I've been in some form of marketing or communications for the last pretty much decade. My marketing background is specifically in travel and engineering. I know those are like two very opposite things, but it's a good mix of like left brain, right brain. In addition, I'm an avid mountain biker, climber, photographer, and I have a unhealthy obsession with sushi. I actually crave sushi in the middle of the night. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. Some special talents. I know all the words to American Pie, and I can do the worm. So just some fun facts about me. But if anyone has any questions beyond this, feel free to reach out to me. I'm really looking forward to meeting all of the community members within Durango. And yeah, with that, let's get going here and dive into the meat and potatoes. So what we're going to be covering today is kind of the why behind. First part is the why behind Google My Business. And from now on, I'm going to be referring to Google My Business because it's just a mouthful as GMB. That's what us marketers call Google My Business. Then I'm going to be talking about kind of how to start a profile if you don't have one already. And if you notice that one's out there, how to claim it and make it have full control and access to it. And then I'll do a deep dive into the GMB's features, like what the intro does, what the photos do, and that sort of thing, and how to use them in detail. And then last part, I'll be covering tying it into COVID with what you can do to refresh your profile right now during this stay-at-home order that we're all under. And just something to keep in mind is I know everyone's just completely tired and overwhelmed with all of these Zoom webinar calls. I'm going to try to, I believe laughter is the best medicine. So I'm going to try to have a little bit of fun today. So there's going to be some little random things thrown in every once in a while. So I actually looked better today on the Zoom call than the fox on the right, but there has been some rough days. I'll be honest. Okay. So getting into the basics of GMB. So for those who are not familiar, Google My Business is that map that's on the right of the screen right there. So I've typed in Mount Sneffels, a mountain that's just outside of Telluride area. And you can see it, funny enough, there's a Google My Business profile for the mountain, which is very strange to me. It's basically Google's way to list your business within Google, and it's a way for your customers and potential customers to connect with you because they found out all the information that they need to know about your business without going to your website or without physically going into your store. So that includes a description of your business, hours, locations, contact information, menus, product, services, photos, and even what has been done in the last couple of years, a way to directly book reservations, rooms online, I'll get into that in a little bit. So it's pretty cool stuff. And so, what's the why behind GMB? Like, why is it necessary? I've heard this all the time. Like, well, I don't need a GMB. I don't need a website because everyone's on Facebook. Well, funny enough, 93% of all people actually start their internet experience using a search engine like Google. So the 7% of people who are logging on to do something, they're the people that are going to Facebook, YouTube, and all the other sites. So the lion's share of everyone who's going and starting online is using a search engine like Google. And in the last year, the near me searches have just skyrocketed. And those near me searches are what trigger the GMB profile to come up. And Google, I won't get into the guru or the Google Ninja things that happen with them on a daily basis, but they're putting way more weight into local searches like near me than they are other types of searches. So the GMB is only going to become more and more important over the next few years. 76% of daily searchers are looking for local businesses like yours. And something to tie into that is 91% of those people who are doing those daily searches are reading the online reviews before they even decide to visit your local business. So I'll touch on reviews a little bit later, but reviews are so important on GMB. And I'll say this with confidence that GMB is the most widely used online directory that's out there. I know a lot of people like Yellow Pages and Yelp, or maybe not like those platforms, but GMB is the king of them all. Okay. So just a hypothetical example of how I personally use GMB to find what I'm looking for. So like I mentioned, I'm new to town, and I'm craving Thai food, and I've got no idea like what restaurants are in town, like which restaurants are good, which ones are bad. That's actually why I keep spring rolls on my nightstand, but that's a whole other thing. But so Google is my weapon of choice for me to find a great Thai restaurant. And again, this is kind of the actual process for me to find a Thai restaurant. So I'm going to go and type in Thai food near me, Thai restaurants near me. And then I'm going to look at the Google My Business listing right here, all the listings, to see, who's got the best reviews, what the hours are, I can look at people's menus, and then I'll make my decision from there. And something to keep in mind is that, if your restaurant is not on GMB, it doesn't really exist in my universe because, 93% again are going to be coming into Google, not Facebook. And if you're Thai restaurant is not on Google, I'm not going to be, I won't be noticing, I won't know about your restaurant. So really, without a GMB profile, you're missing out on customers like me, period. Like, it's as simple as that. All right, so you've convinced me about GMB and its importance. How does it all work, and how do we navigate this Google jujitsu? So, and that's kind of what I'm here today to do. I'm not here just for my jokes and that amazing sweater that I'm wearing in that photo. That's actually not me. But anyways, so starting a Google My Business profile. So it's actually a lot easier than you think it is. Even if you're not familiar with the internet and how it works, the whole process takes like literally minutes to do. So I won't go through, just for time's sake, the specifics. I won't go and like create one for the whole group to see. But like I said, it takes 5 minutes and it's very user friendly. But you can go to that address that's up there, business.google.com. You're going to type in your business's name. That's actually really important because if your business, if you type in your business's name, and let's say that you work at, or you own a company, ABC Contracting, and your business pulls up, then one has already been created, and then you just need to claim it as your own. You need to get ownership of it. But if nothing pops up in that case, then you don't have a GMB profile and you need to create one. So you'll go through the steps of adding your business to Google, and then just follow the steps to complete your profile. Yeah, like I said, it takes like 5 minutes. If you do type in your business, ABC Contracting, and something does pull up, you're going to have to go through what is called the claiming process. So you can see at the bottom of the screen for Mount Sneffels Wilderness that I could actually claim this business, and then you have to prove ownership. You have to submit either like a tax return or a tax form, or there's actually a couple of ways to do it. But you have to go through a verification process with Google. It's not just, you can't like click a button and automatically like get access to it. Otherwise, I would basically, request access to this Mount Snuff, and you talk to the summit or something like that. But yeah, there is a verification process. And if you do get stuck, honestly, Google support line has like some of the best customer service that I've ever worked with. They are so helpful and willing to bend over backwards to help you out with anything that you need. So don't be afraid to reach out to their support team. Okay, so now that I've kind of shown in a brief manner of how to start one, how to claim a GMB profile, let's dive in and like look at the features within the profile itself, and I'll show you kind of what's all there. And so there are several things within the, we're looking at the back end of the Durango Welcome Center GMB profile. And you can see on the left that there's that toolbar that's right there, starting with home and then going all the way down to users. And something that I want to mention right off the bat is you don't want to leave, like it says right there, leave no box empty, because missing information is missed opportunities at getting customers to funnel in and become more customers. The sections include info, messaging, photos, bookings, products, services. And I'll dive into each one of those in a second here, but I will mention another point that leave the website item alone unless you do not have a website. It sounds weird, but Google offers like very simple websites. They offer they can build you a very quick website if you don't have one. But in my personal experience, they just don't look very good. It's better to go and do it the right way and have either a web developer help you with a website or build one on your own. So just leave that website. That's kind of a pro tip. Leave the website little field alone there. Okay, so getting into completing your profile. So the info section, which is that top one, if we go back, I'm going to go down in order like this, with the exception of posts. I'm going to skip over that and I'll come back. So looking at the info section, this is where you're really going to spend 70% of all of your time within GMB. This is where you update the address, where you offer your products or services, the hours, what dates are closed, phone numbers, what is called the short name, which is something that's relatively new. It's just kind of like a nickname for your for your business. So ours is just Durango Welcome Center. It's not really a nickname, but that's a new thing. In case you have a very long company name, you can add it. You can just like shorten it. What your website is, any products or services that you offer, if that's applicable. Highlights are a way to, especially during COVID right now, a highlight is my business offers delivery service, takeout, or curbside pickup. The other types of highlights that are in that are my business is a woman-led business. It is handicap accessible. It's LGBTQ friendly, just some things like that. It's pet friendly. So those are some highlights that you can throw in there. General description of your business and then the opening date. A big takeaway with this is please be as detailed as possible when you're filling out all of this information, and include keywords related to your business whenever you can, because that's going to be a way for your business to pop up for more than just Thai food, for example. Maybe you want your business to also pull up for Vietnamese food. So you could put in your description that you offer a majority of Thai dishes, but you also offer a few Vietnamese dishes. So then you can be found for a search like Vietnamese food near me. All right, so going down to the next section is what is called the messaging section. And this is kind of a relatively new feature over the last few years that, in my opinion, or my experience, is seldom used by the businesses that I've worked with. But it's there if you want to use it. It's basically a way for people, if I'm going and I'm clicking on your GMB and I have a question about, what if you're open on Christmas Eve, for example, or Christmas Day, I can send you a message. And it can either be sent to a text message that you receive on your phone, or a message that you see within your GMB profile. And it has a feature that's kind of cool where it sends an automated text message to the person who has sent the message. And you can make this an automated text that says, "Hey, we'll get back to you within 24 hours with your question. Hey, if you have any questions and you need help now, call this number," and that sort of thing. So. Like I said, it's seldom used by businesses in my experience, but it's there if you want to use it. Okay, moving on to the photos section. This is a great way to showcase your business and with as many pictures as possible that you want to put up there. Obviously, pictures and videos are the most effective way to capture someone's attention, and there's plenty of opportunity for you to do that with your GMB profile. Some examples of pictures that you can put up include your products or services. So if you have pictures of, let's say that you're a retail store that sells shoes, you can take pictures of your shoe racks and put them in there. Your office interior, store interior, to give people a general idea of what they can expect when they walk in. Pictures of your team always do really well. So having a picture of the team working behind the desk, taking a picture of a candid photo, that sort of thing. And customers interacting with your team, products or services. So you can see the bottom left photo and the bottom left photo and the one that's the center left and the one that's top right. Those are not our staff. Those are people that have come into the Durango Welcome Center and have sat on our little the Durango or the Purgatory. I forgot what those things are called, but like the ride thing. Roller coaster chair. And then at the bottom, a child with their parents, and I'm assuming a friend filling out some coloring books and that sort of thing. So those photos do really well. And make sure that you always have a cover photo and a logo. The top left photo that's looking down at Fort Lewis, that's our cover photo, and the one to the right of that is our logo. So don't forget those things. Otherwise, when someone types in Durango Welcome Center directly, and they can see on the map on the right-hand side, there will be basically a gap where the logo and that cover photo is. So make sure that you put those in. Okay, so the next section is a somewhat new addition to GMB over the last couple of years, and it's really gone a long way. This is a really amazing feature if you want people to book a room, an appointment or a service directly from the GMB profile, you would not believe how many people book hotel rooms directly from GMB without ever going to your website. The caveat with all of this is Google only has a certain amount of providers that they allow you to use for these bookings. For example, if you have something integrated on your website where it's not through TripAdvisor, Fair Harbor, or something like that, you will not be able to use this feature within GMB. If you use Resi, Fair Harbor, TripAdvisor, or any of these providers that I've kind of got behind this picture here, then you can directly connect that profile to your GMB profile, and then you can allow bookings directly from GMB. So when you do have it working, this is what it looks like on the right-hand side. It's got this little book online. And from there, once you click on that, it gives you a calendar with the different types of products or services or hotel room options that you have. And then you can book right there, submit your credit card information, and then receive the confirmation email. It's amazing for customers, and you would not believe how much it's used. So something I do want to mention is that more providers are being added all of the time. And there's rumors that Google might even start having their own booking platform that works regardless of your website's capabilities or how you're booking things on your website right now. Okay, products and services are also really a great way to showcase your business and what your business has to offer. And it's also a great way to rank for certain keywords, certain searches. For example, if you sell men's shoes, you can put all of the shoes as products. Like this is the dress shoe that we have from, I don't know, Sperry. I don't know shoe companies. But you can put that as a product. And then before you know it, you're going to be ranking for Sperry men's shoes in Durango. So it's a great way to like kind of without building more and more pages on your website. If you have the ability to put products and services on there, it's an easy way to rank for those particular keywords. And some just best practices you want to include with your product as much information as possible. Put in keywords if you can. And then make sure with the product side of things that you have very high quality pictures of your products. You can use a cell phone, that's absolutely fine, but don't take a photo of the shoe like this sitting on the shelf or on the floor of the store. Put it against a nice background and make it look really nice. Think of how there's kind of this saying within marketing, what would Amazon do? So think about what Amazon does with how their product pictures look and try to replicate that on your GMB profile. For services, keep in mind, this is another kind of silly thing that Google does with GMB is they have a list of predetermined services. So you kind of have to, in some cases, you have to get creative with picking what your business does. There is most of the time, in my experience, setting up GMB profiles for clients, there is some sort of service that fits within all companies. It might not be the exact one that you want. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out your services. And this is not a section per se where you need to fill out information, but this is known as the Insights tool, which are all of your analytics of your GMB profile. So that includes the queries, which is just another word for keywords that users are searching for are typing into Google to find you. And another way to put that is if I type in, for example, Durango Welcome Center within Google, that's a query. And if I click on your profile from that search, that keyword will show up right here. So it's an amazing way to see what people are searching for to find your GMB profile. And what I do with this list personally is I go through this list on a monthly basis. And I'm noticing there's kind of a weird keyword out there that, I didn't think of that people are searching for X, Y, and Z. I'm going to put that into my GMB profile. And then I'll also put that on my website too. So just kind of, that's a pro tip. In addition to the queries report, you'll also see like what types of searches people did, which is broken into a direct, discovery, or a branded. So a direct is someone who has your GMB profile kind of saved in their browser history, and they type in Durango Welcome Center, and oh look, there's the map already, the GMB profile. I'm going to click on that, and that sends them directly to the GMB profile. That's a direct search. The other one is a discovery, and so if I'm searching for, let's go back to the Thai food example. If I'm searching for Thai restaurant Durango, and I find your GMB profile and I click on it, that is a discovery search because I didn't know about your business and your business's name before that. I was looking for something Thai food and I found your GMB profile that way. That's a discovery search. And then a branded it's pretty straightforward. It's typing in Durango Welcome Center within Google and then going to your GMB profile right there. So they already know what your name is. So they're just maybe doing that to find your address and phone number or email or website. Customers' actions are the website visits, directions, and calls that take place. And going off of that, you can see how many direction requests happened, how many people requested directions to your business. In addition, you can see phone calls, which are total phone calls, what day of the week and what time of day those take place. In addition to like when people are most likely to visit your business, and then photo views. The two things that I want to mention are the phone calls, the day of week, day of time of day, and the popular visit times. Those are great. That's great information to have, and how that's applicable to what your business could do is, as you can see right here, the Durango Welcome Center receives most of its phone calls on Fridays and Wednesdays. And our visitation is also the same on those 2 days. We can see how many people, or we can see from our GMB profile when the popular visit times are per day. And so if I were managing the Welcome Center, for example, on Fridays and Wednesdays, I would make sure that we have at least 2 people available to answer calls, because we know that's when we're going to get our big influx of calls, as well as visitors to the Welcome Center. So making sure that you have enough staff during those days. So that's a good way to think of, okay, like what do I do with this information regarding phone calls and the visits. Something that kind of sucks for us marketers and you as well is the data for GMB only goes back a quarter. It doesn't go back any further than that for whatever reason. So you'll only be able to look at a quarter's worth of data at one point. Okay, getting into posts and how they work. So you can think of a post basically the same as a Facebook post. It's just a way for people to connect with people who are potentially looking at your GMB profile. And the post can be used to promote a product or service, add in a special deal, which I see a lot, to sell, like we're doing 10% off of these shoes this month. It's giving news updates, wink, wink, COVID, what's happening with our business related to COVID. It's promoting events and that type of thing. And really, if some pro tips, if you don't have a lot of time to do this, they do. I mean, it's basically a Facebook post. It takes, a couple, like 30 seconds to photo, a little bit of copy right there, and then you're done. If you're really short on time, you can actually just use a Facebook post. That's what I've done in the past with some of the clients that I've worked with. Just use a Facebook post that you've already run, copy the same text, put the photo up there, and rock and roll. Make sure that you always have, there's a section, I got kind of cut off in this photo. There's a button at the bottom of every post that's a call to action, where you can put learn more, book now, visit websites, that sort of thing. So make sure that you always give your visitors something to do with those posts within your GMB profile. Okay, reviews. We got to talk about it. So big thing is, or actually the biggest takeaway from today is, I cannot emphasize this enough. You need to respond to every single review that's on your GMB profile, no exceptions. Whether that's positive, negative, neutral, you need to do it. There's your ranking of your of your GMB profile on GMB against your competitors. 85% of that is directly related to your reviews, the number of reviews that you have, and then the general, your number of reviews, your rating, and then how your engagement, how how many of those reviews are you responding to? The other 15% is all the other stuff that I talked about, the profile, the info, phone numbers, all that stuff. You need to spend a lot of your time after you kind of button up the info and all of those sections. Spend all your time every month looking through and responding to all those reviews. And just for time's sake, because I could honestly teach an entire class on reviews on GMB, and we clearly don't have the time for that. I put in a couple of resources within this slide, and this slide deck will be available and sent out after the presentation, so you'll have all of these links. But there's these two links I've put in there, which is a guide to GMB reviews, what you need to know about them, and then a whole post dedicated to how to respond to a negative GMB review. And really, GMB reviews are the reason that I drink, because you got to do them. I know it sucks, but it is, like it says right there, the more reviews, engagement that you have means the higher your GMB profile sits on Google. Okay, so refreshing your profile during COVID. This is kind of top of mind with everyone right now. Like, what do I do? How do I relate this back to COVID? And it's actually pretty simple what you can do right now. So the big thing is you want to go through your profile and update as much information as possible. A big thing is you're updating your hours. Like I mentioned before, there's a cool feature now that's being offered within those attributes that are, if you're a restaurant or a retail store, you can check a box that says, I offer pickup, delivery, curbside, pickup options, just so your customers can see, okay, I can interact with this business. How can I, how am I going to get my Thai food? And so it gives you those options right there. If your business is temporarily closed because of COVID, you can mark it as temporarily closed. We've done that with the Durango Welcome Center. It's just checking a box within the info section. Like I mentioned before, update, if you don't have those products or services or even a menu of what your restaurant offers, you can flush that out during this time. It's a great time to be doing that. And then, like I mentioned before, making sure reviewing every single section and making sure it's complete, it's on brand, include, and make a COVID related post. And what that looks like are these two posts that we have right here. So within the posts, go to the post screen, and then you can create COVID related posts. There's even a section that says, give a COVID update. And these are two examples of, these are two of our COVID related posts saying on the right there that we are answering our phones. You can chat with us online. And then the bottom one is just kind of saying that, hey, the Durango Welcome Center is closed for the time being because of COVID, just to let you know. So it's just another way for your customers to be informed about what you're doing right now and what you're offering during COVID, and even when you're expecting to reopen your doors. Okay, so wrapping up everything, I know this is kind of a longer presentation, but there's a lot to dig into with GMB. The big thing that you can do right now during this stay at home is to button up your profile, clean up everything, make sure all the sections are filled out. And then, if you have a description in there that it's short, doesn't really include everything that you want to say, expand on it, make it bigger. And then if you have 2 posts in there, for example, and you haven't posted in 5 years, expand, make some more posts on there, give everyone a COVID update. Because really the big thing with GMB is you're going to be surprised how much GMB matters at driving customers to your business, and its direct correlation to the amount of business or the amount of sales that you're going to be getting related to your GMB profile. So at this point, I'm going to kind of open up things for questions or comments. Post them in that little chat that's down there, and then I'll answer them as they come in. So thanks, everyone. Hope everyone was a little bit more entertained. I tried to keep it light and fluffy here, but I know it was a lot to throw at you. So yeah, I'll just kind of open up the floor at this point.
Thanks, Nick. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Lots of really good information. We do have a couple questions.
Okay.
First one, why does Google continue to contact me claiming that I do not have my profile set up when I do? Is there someone else fishing for my information?
Yeah, just honestly, that's sometimes they are legitimately from Google, saying, "Hey, you don't have a phone number listed on here. You need to put in a phone number." I would say a lot of the times too, it's just people fishing and trying to, it's like the Nigerian prince trying to get you to give them money. So I honestly ignore all that. As long as you're going in and making sure that all of those sections are filled out, you've done your homework, and all of those calls are just ignore them. And actually, something else that I do want to mention is the sales team outside of the Google sale or Google's customer service is outstanding. Like I mentioned before, their sales team are some of the pushiest people I've ever met. Like they're worse than like used car salesmen. And so those calls, if they are legitimately from Google, they're more or less there to try to sell you on Google Ads, which is, I'll be teaching a class on Google Ads later, I think in a few weeks, but they're trying to sell you into Google Ads so they can make money.
Awesome. Another one, is it true that Google My Business is not posting reviews because of COVID?
Oh, I actually have not heard that. I'll have to look into that. Thanks for bringing that up. That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen that come through any of the SEO journals that I subscribe to. I'll look into that. Yeah, so I don't know who reached out about that. Actually, when the slide deck comes out, I'll just do some research pretty quick, and I'll put an answer to that question in there.
Awesome. Thank you. How can we get customers to leave a review for us? This person has a child care center.
Okay. So something that I will mention right off the bat, you cannot by law, this is really important, you cannot by law incentivize or pay someone to leave you a positive review. You can tell them to, hey, can you leave me a review? That's fine. But you cannot say, hey, I'll give you a gift card if you leave me a positive review on GMB. You can get in trouble for that. Unfortunately, it's a common practice on Amazon, and Amazon doesn't really crack down on it. But what I've heard, and I don't have any personal stories about this, is I've heard that Google cracks down on things like that. I don't know how they find out. That's above my pay grade, and I could reach out to Larry Page. He doesn't return my phone calls, but yeah. So getting back to the question, sorry, that was a little tangent there. You can just directly ask for reviews. And the way that I've framed it or the advice that I've given clients in the past is, if you have someone you want, just ask your rock stars, your rock star customers who absolutely love everything that you do and are so grateful that you are there to help them navigate this crazy thing that we call life. Ask them for reviews, because those are going to be your biggest advocates, and they are going to be the ones that leave the reviews that are like, it's like a page out of War and Peace. It's like, an entire page long worth of things in a review. So you can, if you're the business owner, so what I would do is I would think about, the 10 to 15 rock stars, your favorite customers that you have. Next time that they come into your shop, ask them for a review. The cool part is that I didn't mention is on the info page, there is on the right-hand side, halfway down the screen, it says like view listing on search, view on maps. And then there's a third section that says share profile or something like that. That is a direct, it's a share link that you can give your customers if you want to reach out to them directly on email. So you can type in an email, hey, Susie B, I'm so glad that you're, a returning customer. We love having you there, blah, 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 blah. We love when you buy, blah, 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 blah. Hey, would you, we really want to share your experience with our other customers and share your story. Would you mind leaving us a 2-sentence review on our GMB profile? Boom, there's the link. We would love that you would do that, blah, 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 blah. Looking forward to seeing you next time you come in. Yeah.
How long do reviews stay on?
Forever. I've seen reviews on there from like 2012. Yeah, they're on there forever.
Cool. So what if someone leaves me a bad review? What can I do? Can I delete it or just respond to it?
So Google doesn't allow you to delete reviews. Just respond to it, plain and simple. Try to mitigate the fire. Um, I will say that Teresa's presentation yesterday with crisis communication is a great way to, you can apply everything that she talked about right there to reviews. Yeah, but don't let them sit. Always, like I said in that slide before, make sure that you review and respond to every single review. And that link that I posted within that page, it was like how to respond to a negative review, is a really good way a good way to learn about how to respond to a negative review. That being said, there's kind of this workaround that I've done in the past with particular clients who had the budget for it. There's two software platforms out there. One is called Bird Eye, and the other is called Real Reviews. Funny enough, one of them is based in Flagstaff, where I came from. And this is not, I'm not being paid to say anything like that. But these two programs will let you vet the reviews before they go live. It's kind of a shady way. I don't feel super comfortable in my gut to be doing that, but if you want to review the reviews before they go live, in that case, using those programs, you can not post the negative reviews. I forget how much Bird Eye is a month. It might be like $150. Real Reviews is like something around the same. Maybe it's $100 or something like that. But those are out there if you want to use them.
Cool. As a hotel, we can't post or blog, just post pictures. Is there a way to do this to connect to Google My Business? And then how do we integrate TA, which I may have missed what that means.
I'm not sure what TA is, besides a teaching assistant. So Hannah, let me understand the
TripAdvisor.
okay. Duh. So the question was, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So this person, they have a hotel and they can't post or blog, just post pictures. So is there a way that they can connect to Google My Business? And then how do they integrate to TripAdvisor?
Okay, so the first part of the question is, if I'm understanding this correctly, they can't post posts on their website. I hope I'm getting that right, whoever reached out. If that's the case, just post on GMB. If you're not allowed to post on GMB, like, it is what it is at this point, like, post on Facebook, post elsewhere. And then the second part of the
Sorry, I was going to say they followed up and said they're not allowed to post onto GMB because it's against the rules.
Okay, got it. Then it is what it is. You've got to follow the rules. Just don't post. And then the second part of the question, I hope that, like, not to sound crass, but like, you got to play within your guidelines and your rules. It sucks, but fill out everything else, expand, beef everything else up. And post a ton of photos to make up for that. At that point too, you could, if possible, you could expand where you can on the website, Facebook, maybe beef up those platforms a little bit more than you normally would. Second part of the question regarding TripAdvisor, that's a great opportunity to use that bookings section. If you can do bookings directly from TripAdvisor, set up that bookings section and off to the races. Then you can start collecting or having people book your hotel rooms directly off of that bookings section. Yeah, that's a great opportunity if you have that capability.
Awesome.
A lot of questions. I like this.
Yeah. So what's the advantage to leaving a review on Google My Business as opposed to TripAdvisor or Yelp? Is this the new Yelp?
It is really, or at least in my opinion, maybe Yelp would disagree with me on that. But I mean, just the sheer number of people, like I've done an analysis with several clients, particularly some like outdoor rec companies, like a bike shop, gear shop, that sort of thing. And actually, and then a big hotel, now that I think of it. And I've done analysis on looking at their GMB, Yelp, TripAdvisor. What's the other big one that I'm forgetting? I can't think of the other ones, but it's like night and day difference between the amount of traffic that they get on GMB versus like TripAdvisor. I would say that kind of moving down the list, the ones that receive the least amount of traffic in my experience are Yelp and Yellow Pages. That being said, restaurants, it's kind of like you'll have like Google My Business and then Yelp next to each other, and then like TripAdvisor and some of the others. So like the other ones kind of like flip around a little bit. But most of the time it's, well, actually all the time it's GMB, which is like the number one source for reviews, traffic, clicks, all of that. And then it's either like Yelp for restaurants, TripAdvisor for hotels, and then like they kind of like tailor off. But it's like looking at the analytics, it's like GMB is like this, and then it's like Yelp, TripAdvisor, they're kind of like all the same.
Awesome. Can you reiterate one more time what the best method to contact Google My Business is?
If you have a question, I'm assuming with
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Their customer service line is great. I will, sorry, I should have put that in the presentation. Service, Google My Business. Here, I'm just going to put this link in here. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, this is the link I was looking for. I'll put this in the chat wherever it is. Come on now.
Awesome.
Where's the chat? Ah, there it is. Here's the link for the support. On that is there's an online chat, which is, in my experience, the fastest way to get help. There's a phone number. Like if you can, yeah, there's other ways in that. Just go through that. But yeah, like I said, GMB's or Google's support team, awesome.
Cool. Thank you for doing that. So what if a previous business owner started the account? Can I take over that account as the new owner?
You can, yes. So this is where it gets a little tricky. If your previous employee, client, whatever, is holding the account hostage, the easiest way to do it is to just reach out to them directly and ask, hey, Joe, can you give me GMB access? And then they'll say yes, and then give you access. And then if you want, you can delete them directly from that. Let me go back a couple of slides here. Sorry. Hold on a second. That's done right here in the users. So yeah, you can request access. Like if you're not like able, because there's different levels of access. There's like a manager, owner, that type of thing. If you have like manager access and you want owner access, you can request it right there in the users. But yeah, if the employee is holding the account hostage, reach out to the Google support team and just kind of they deal with this all the time. Just explain the situation, and then at this case, depending on how the rep allows you to, like what the rep says, they might have you do like a video share, and you'll hold up like a piece of mail and your tax ID number, that sort of thing, to the video so they can verify it, or they might have you send it in via email. There's a couple different ways that they do it, but it's pretty easy to get access to it. There hasn't been a situation that I can recall where someone did not get access to their GMB.
Cool. Back to posting, how often should someone post on GMB?
I would say if you can, at least twice a week. Again, if you have Facebook and you're short on time, just rinse and repeat, just throw up your Facebook content there. Twice a week would be amazing. If you can't do that, like maybe like once a week, a couple times a month. I mean, like content is better than no content, or any content is better than no content. So what I used to tell clients is, 2 times a week, if you can, at a minimum.
Cool. And then is there an app to be able to do this from my phone?
That's a good question, actually. I'm not entirely sure. Sorry, I should know that.
I think there is, at least for.
Oh yeah,
Apple
there is a mobile
products.
app. Yeah, there's a mobile app. I did not know that. I do all the management for GMB either on the profile itself using a desktop. I just find it to be easier, or through one of those like Bird Eye, one of those platforms. Here's the link to the iOS Apple app, and then here's the Android one right there.
Awesome, thank you. Is there a tutorial you recommend for most efficient way to set up GMB? We have it set up, but it's not being used to its max.
Can you say the first part of that question again?
Yes. Is there a tutorial you recommend for most efficient way to set up GMB? We have it set up, but we're not using it to its max.
Sure. Besides my amazing presentation, YouTube is your best friend with some of these things. Google puts out a series called 5 minutes or less, where they're like, you can just type in Google My Business, and there should be a bunch of videos that are like 5 minutes or less, like how to post a photo, how to update. Honestly, the platform is so easy to use. I would just jump in and just kind of like figure it out. It might be overkill for you to like learn like more than just jump in. It's so easy to use, or use YouTube.
Awesome. Let's see. Are you interested in doing a class for Yelp as well?
Sure, I'll do it. I hate Yelp. Most people do. I can. Hannah, let's maybe we can talk offline.
Yeah.
I can do a Yelp class.
Perfect.
I'll have to drink a beer or something when we're doing that, because I'll be rolling my eyes
Maybe
a lot.
we'll schedule it for
happy hour Yelp class. Yep, sounds great.
All right, I think we have one more.
Okay.
What does it mean to mark a review as inappropriate?
If someone has, this happens a lot of times where you'll have someone leave a review that has like never been to your place before. You can mark that as inappropriate. Or if someone is like swearing all over the place in a review, you can mark it as appropriate. But just use that sporadically, because there's a lot of times if you're marking like a negative review inappropriate, they'll just ignore it. You have to have a legitimate reason to mark something as inappropriate. And then it goes through like a review process and gets taken down if Google agrees with you. And like most of the time, the ones that I've seen get taken down are ones that are like blatantly trashing a place and like leaving like really like hurtful things about a particular, like really just like cutting to the core. those things get taken down for sure. And a lot of swears.
Okay. And then I lied. We have another one.
It's all
Can
good.
you explain a little more about how you would add the keywords to profile from the info off of insights?
Sure. Yeah. So an example of this, let's go back to that Thai restaurant example. So if you have a Thai restaurant and you're noticing in that query report that there's been a bunch of keywords that are like spring rolls near me, or wontons near me, or pad thai near me, or that sort of thing, and you're like, oh, I didn't like those keywords, those searches are not anywhere to be found on my profile. I'm going to put those in there. So my description might be, we're ABC Thai company and we offer a wide range of Thai and some Indonesian and Vietnamese food. Some of our most popular dishes include pad thai, spring rolls, wontons, blah, 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 blah. And then you could do a post on talking about like picture of spring rolls and how amazing they are. And then talk about like, these are spring rolls, they're organic, grass fed, fair trade, cruelty free, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Oh, and then actually going back to that, another thing that I worth mentioning, those keywords that come into that report, put those on your website too, wherever they're appropriate. So yeah, if you've got, going back to the Thai example, if you've got Vietnamese, wontons, spring rolls, that sort of thing, make sure that all of those keywords are on your website too. All right, Hannah, what do we got here?
Oh, sorry. I think my microphone went out for a second. Did you hear my last question?
No, I did not. It
Okay.
just went out.
Sorry. Okay. So last question we're going to address. Can a business rely on Google My Business as a new source in place of the oversaturated Facebook?
Yes, 100%. Yes, I'm behind that 100%. I mean, just looking at the stats again, that 93%, 76% of people like reading reviews or whatever that number was again. Yeah, I mean, I don't use Facebook. I personally don't like using Facebook for a number of reasons, but if I'm looking for a Thai restaurant or a shoe store or blah blah blah, even if I'm familiar with your brand and I'm like I know where it is, that sort of thing, I would not go to Facebook to read, anything. I would read your reviews and look at your GMB profile. That being said, I'm not everyone. There are people who are just addicted to Facebook. And so it's important to have both for sure, for a number of reasons outside of the ones that I've talked about today. But like I was saying, GMB is just like, it is the beast within the online directories world. It's 100%. I think it's the new norm over Facebook for sure.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I think we'll probably wrap it up there. Thank you so much, Nick. That was awesome. So informative. We have a lot of good information. We will send this out to everyone. So if you do have more questions too, please continue to send them to us, and then we will get back to you. So we will wrap it up there and start again on Monday morning.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks again for